Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. Cleaning the shop up, trying to have a good night here. Saturday night, pretty late, about 10 something. Planned to do a lot of this stuff Friday night, and I got stuck at work till 8:30 on Friday night. Not what I had planned for the weekend, but nonetheless, trying to kind of take advantage of things now that I'm sort of not like about to face plant asleep. So we're going back to Black Friday, and you're saying like Black Friday, man, this is after spring break in March. What's going on? Well, this is kind of some stuff that just sort of need to clean up and get ready to get sorted and organized and put into use. So that's what we're gonna do, and we'll get started here with, I guess, a little teaser for you. That's right, this will be DRPD, I believe. Tool Haul 5 never fails. You hit record and a text message is almost always within the first minute. Yeah, got your attention now. And as a bonus, we're going to do some of this towards the end. So, I believe this is 5. There's actually stuff that came with this. It's the main reason that I ordered. And I've still never seen anyone put it on YouTube, so that might wind up being like a special deal. That was supposed to be the video that I did for like Happy New Year. And here we are, late March, and I still haven't recorded that one. So there you go. But anyway, we're going to jump right into it with this. You say to yourself, what's this? Why is there a rail that small with 5 sockets? Looks vaguely familiar. Well, if we do the old zoom in trick, you might see something that looks like black, and you might be seeing some stuff that looks like a round spherical object embedded in the sidewall of some of those sockets. And your eyes do not deceive you. Those are Koken's nut grip sockets, right? This is not the first set. The first set I think is at work, but this is the home set, and it pairs with a quarter drive of your choice. True story, Koken. I don't quite understand what's going on, but I got an email. I told you, and I've mentioned it several times in Koken and DRPD hauls, I've been like, well, I don't have any Koken quarter or half-inch drive sockets, which seems crazy. But the reason was I was waiting for the 72 tooth to release, right? And I got an email, I think like, geez, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, don't hold me to it. It's been a very busy week, pretty much like 12 to 13 hour days every day type of a week. But anyway, the email finally came, and they're going to be here, and they're up for pre-order, and they say if you want them, you better get them because they're going to be gone, and you might be waiting 6 months. And the cool thing was the pre-order said that they would be available on March 25th. And if you look at my watch, if it'll focus, it's March 25th, and I don't lie about the time, as you can see there. But I was super excited. You click it and you go to the deal. I kind of wanted to like preview the ratchets, put my order together. I've been waiting for this moment. There's no products listed on the page, just a countdown, and the countdown says it'll release on March 25th, but it tells you it's like it was 3 days away, and then now today it's 2 days and blank hours away. Something is amiss there. I don't know if it's like really going to release Monday or there was like a flaw in the system type of a thing, but I'm going to get back inside and monitor that in the event that it came up or something. But I've not had time to get on Instagram basically since Black Friday, when ironically I bought this stuff. I just hadn't had much time to get on Instagram. That takes forever to scroll through. I love it because you get to see all the deals and see everybody's cool tools they pick up and stuff, learn about new products, so on and so forth. But man, it just that takes some time that I don't have, so I try to prioritize like my limited time here in the shop and then keep making YouTube videos. But anyway, something Koken did release that sort of followed suit. I meant to grab something else and I did not, as best I can see. So of course this was sort of their like test run, and then they released the 3/8 nut grips, which are awesome. I've got those in the box, but in this bag is something else. So it's not really a bag, it's just wrapping paper, packing paper. Roll. And some of you just saw what it was and know instantly, or you might have a guess, and you're like, oh, did you lose one of these? What happened? Did you break one? You get it warranted? No, what I did, this is, again, as you can see, quarter drive, and if we flip this guy around, you can tell, even with the blurry vision, that it is a nut grip socket. That's right. And what size of nut grip socket could this possibly be? Well, your eyes don't deceive you. It's 9/16. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, wait, there's a 9/16 in the 3/8 set, wasn't there? There was. But Koken decided, I guess by popular request, again, nice when a company listens to the customers, right? I don't see that very often anymore. But they expanded the quarter drive set to include the 9/16. I think if you buy the set now, you might be able to get it that way, or you can piecemeal it together. Don't hold me to it. I think I've covered that in other videos, but I finally have these here ready to go. This one will be going to work. That's why there's two of them. So those suckers are there. If you're curious on the price, it's honestly, like, let's say that you just need 7/16, half, and 9/16. You can basically pick your drive size. But in the event of this nut grip quarter drive, I want to say this is, oh no, this doesn't include the discount, which is good for you because, again, DRPD, while they don't have sales all the time like some companies, when they do, they're pretty good. So if you can wait a while, I would suggest doing that. But $10.45 a piece, which is not bad at all when it's something that will get used a ton. So that's a win in my opinion. Now, coming up next, I guess we will stick with the Koken theme here. We'll do this one. We'll just kind of go in order. We have the precursor right here. I'll try not to knock a ton of stuff off of this shop stool that's sitting beside me. We've got this right here, and you think, I can't see part numbers, fool. It's not in the bag. What's going on? Well, that's because you've already seen this, and I have it flipped differently now. So this is quarter drive 6-point metric. It's a set that runs, I believe, 4 through 14, and it is deep, as you can probably see. So you're thinking like, what could that be a segue to? Well, you probably already know, and it's a segue to this. If we zoom in here so we can get the part number, RS, what does that mean in Koken land? Railed set. You're getting good at this. 2400M/12. What is /12? 12 piece. You deduce the rest on your own. But right here, this gives you the side ranges, which is really, really nice. You get a 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Basically no skips unless you like want a 4.5 or something. I'm not the metric wizard. I prefer the 60s and 70s in American cars, but I'm sure some of you will want that. The good news is, like, there's a reason that we brought in so many Koken sockets. Number one, I've been very impressed with them, and I've used them quite a bit because they sit in the roll cart. But number two, the price point on them is just fantastic. Case in point, this is a pretty comprehensive quarter drive set, right? I mean, 4 to 14 in metric land. $41.10. 14 sockets. You can do basic math here, right? So 14 to 41. That's not bad. Now, this is actually 12 pieces. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and screw it up that bad. But essentially, think if you had 10 sockets, they would have cost you $4.11 a piece. So you know that with 12, it's a little bit less than that. For the quality, and again, these do have a warranty, it's just kind of hard to go wrong. So, plus in quarter drive, I mean, I know a lot of people say they use it all the time. It's their bread and butter. It's not for me, but I mean, the odds of me having to do anything that would really tax these is super slim. So it's pretty much kind of like hopefully a lifetime socket, short of losing it. But we can now pair that wonderfully with this, the deeps, as you might have guessed, same. 4 through 14. So that's a win. Again, fantastic pricing on that front. Up next, we spent a little bit more money, $77.35. Again, these prices are before the sale price for Black Friday, so just kind of knocks off one giant chunk of change there at the end. But the part number will be RS, yeah, you're right, railed set, 3300X. You're like, X, what did that mean? Was that semi-deep? Well, that would be correct. Then there's an A. Some of you might think, M and A. What's the difference? Metric and American. That's right. It's not metric, it's American, right? Or across the flats, whatever you want to call it. And then /9, you know, it's a 9-piece set. You can probably, some of you might know this well enough now that you can kind of deduce what it is. If you guessed 1/4 to 3/4, you would be correct. Now, the stuff in the middle might be what's confusing to you, but a little tilt of the bag, and you can easily tell this is a 6-point hex design. and it's 1/4 to 3/4. I love these sockets, the 12 points. I've done some crazy things with those. Those are in the cart in the top. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I have. And right now I would love to tell you why, but I'm not going to do that, because inevitably anytime I do these things, when I like, oh, here's what I've been working on, or this is what's planned, this video would come up and would like ruin the other video where I am like doing what I said I was going to do with these, or I need to release that video first, but I always screw that up. So I think it's in part because I like work so far in the future most of the time. And so I've learned, like I've got to hold back. I can't just be over here and tell you like, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and going to pair it with this, and it's going to go together, and it's going to be a test run to see if you can get by with it. No, that's already too much information. But right here again, 70, typically companies like put a tax on a semi-deep, right? Sometimes there's certain times I've seen semi-deeps cost more than deep on singulars. It makes no sense. I agree. I'm just telling you what I've seen. But so many companies do not offer semi-deep or mid-length or anything along those lines. So I've had really, really good luck with these. Again, not for very long, mind you. It's not, 2 years maybe we've been using Koken, but typically when you're going to have issues, you know about them, right? Like when I have something from Harbor Freight that I think is a great product, but then it breaks when we bench test it. Yeah, nothing like that. Now, if these sockets were the same way, like, wow, this is going to be awesome, and then first bolt we go that's not even like seized or rusted, and we like shatter the sidewall, well, that's either a lemon, you got like a bad apple in the grip, or it's a sign of things to come. And over the time that I've had all the Koken stuff, and again, they've seen heavy use, zero issues. So that's where we stand there. I suppose we should get these off to the side. Why? We've got to reveal the PB Swiss sticker for you OCD folk. And, the reason for that is quite simple. We finally brought in some more PB Swiss, which apparently I have left in the box behind me, so my apologies there. But what I'll do is grab this. If you watch enough of my videos, all right, you know that these frequently make appearances, like when we're checking to see if something's stainless, so on and so forth. I love these things. I have several others that we've brought in. They have an assortment of colors, and if I can dig them out from over here, we have, you guessed it, more of them. So this is a deal. You're going to see duplicates. We've got green, we've got blue, we've got the red one, and I don't really care. I want these all over the place. They're super handy. They work for like picking up chips and dust and parts and all sorts of stuff. It just comes in super handy, and the price point on them is fantastic, especially when they're on sale. $3.45. A lot of times what happens when you go to place your order, especially if you're patient and you wait until there's a sale at DRPD, you'll be like, oh, I'm going to get the blue and the green, my favorite colors. They might be gone, but the good news is you can come in and you can land like, purple or, something else type of a deal. They're all going to function the exact same. They're just stupid handy. I know they don't pull out, they don't retract, they don't extend to 3 feet or 5 feet or anything crazy. They're not lighted. You can list off all the things they aren't, but what they are is just super good. A lot of times when I'm going to look at cars, I throw these in my pocket. And you might guess what I do with them. Sometimes you can make a car look really good, right? Throw on a great paint job, but if that paint job is over like a ton of Pondo, and you don't get up under the car or shine a light or check it thoroughly, well, sometimes the magnet is your friend, right? So keep that one in mind. But you do with that information what you will. When I place an order, pretty much any time from DRPD, I'm going to check and see what's available. And I don't know, at some point, I'm sure I'll stop buying them, but they are just stupid handy to have. And I absolutely love deploying them all over the shop. So that's where we stand there. Our next, and I guess the last item in this installment is right behind me. I'm pretty excited about it. And if I drop it down like this so you can't see a part number, you're like, oh, Swiss grip. Some of you know instantly. And that's likely because of this guy that I clearly grabbed from over there. Boom, right there. So there's 2 of them. No sleight of hand, no trickery on my end. This was brought in a while back. We kind of brought in like every PB Swiss driver for our testing purposes. Handle style, of course, in number 2 Phillips. And one of the things I had wanted to do, but when I was ordering them, I couldn't get like singular ones ever. I was finally able to do that, and I did it through DRPD. And what we have here is this guy. You're like, idiot. We know it's orange and black. Who cares? You know, you like the color combo. Well, what I've given you is the part number, my friend. And it is right there, PB 8100.4-140 OR, 6,5 by 1,0. Barcode and all, right? I know some people are just disgusted every time there's a barcode. The good news with use, it comes off, but this, believe it or not, it's a standalone driver. You know what that means. It's a number 2 Phillips. That's what this idiot does. Just slide her on over, keep on sliding. 4, got a number 4 Phillips? Nope, we got this. This is one of their famed parallel tips. Now, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I am not a woodworker. I mean, I can, but I don't. It's not like a hobby. I don't have the equipment here. Don't, like build furniture or store antiques. From time to time, you got to do something. Old furniture uses a ton of slotted screws, right? That's mainly when I use slotted stuff. Also carburetors and things of that nature, and that's honestly kind of one of the reasons I grabbed this. I just want to try it. That's the main deal. We're not going to go into like great lengths like I planned to do with number 2 Phillips or anything, but this is just a situation where these are supposed to be the bee's knees of slotted drivers for people that use slotted drivers. Now at work, in contacts and electrical stuff, yeah, you'll still use it there. I don't know that I would, I guess what I could do if I'm impressed by this and I want to like expand past what I have there, I guess I could like bring in their, pretty sure they have a VDE line. Don't hold me to that. But it's one of those things we could possibly do. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about playing around with this thing. And I actually have a buddy coming over tomorrow, and I'm supposed to like dial in his car because apparently the shop that installed it doesn't know how they work. So it's a situation I might use this. It'd probably just be, for all I know, on the idle screw. But we're going to go ahead and use this one if I can. So it's supposed to be, what did he say he had? I think it's a Pro Form, so I don't know. It's been a while since I've messed with one of those things. But anywho, that's that. The side, of course, you've got your designations there. I'm trying to kind of think how they would do that again. I don't know, man. Just fractional stuff is so much easier for me to comprehend and use. But with that said, if you have used the PB Swiss drivers, this instance, I don't care about Phillips or Torx, or I don't care about anything except slotted. I want to know how you like them and how they compare, right? And that's the main thing I'm interested in. Are they the bee's knees? Are they all they're cracked up to be? Is it too much hype? Let me know in the comments section. But it's a great looking driver, I'll give it that. Handle for me is a little undersized, but we can get by. 9/16 Koken nut grip on the market in quarter drive if you need it. If you're new to the nut grips, or you maybe started in 3/8 and you want to expand down to the quarter drive stuff, keep in mind, you have the option of adding the 9/16 there. The magnets are stupid useful. 6-point semi-deep, yes please. We have now the quarter drive metric stuff, which it'll probably come in more handy than I want to admit, but like I said, my bread and butter is old cars, so that's why you don't see me prioritize metric stuff. But we can get that stuff sorted like we want to. That'll be fun and exciting. And ultimately, that's about it. I will go ahead and show you what I'm typically doing. Oh, this is stuck to a magnet. Okay. It could have been bad, because again, there's a lot of junk balanced on a shop stool over here. But weapon of choice for Koken's nut grips the majority of the time, unless it's like crazy tight, then I'll have to go to like a ratchet, of course. But this little guy right here, it sits in the top of the US General for me. Boom. This is the long one. And what it is, if you could not tell, and this is actually, again, one of the things that sort of sold me on the Wobble Fix. This is the Wobble Fix. What does that mean with Koken? Well, if I come in and I slam this socket on, this is just like a spinner handle, right? Just a straight spinner handle, nothing crazy. But if we slide this up, we've now got the wobble. These are very, very reasonably priced. You can also get it in 3/8 drive, so keep that in mind. I don't mind the handle. It's a very unique handle. I don't mind it, but that paired with the nut grip is just a really good combination. The only issue, it doesn't happen often, but it has happened to me enough to make a point of it. When you're in the wobble position, multiple times now with this, and even like doing headers and stuff, I have this happen quite a bit. I'm kind of like getting weird angles and stuff, and you'll sort of pop out, right? The Koken, the ratchets I have, they're not quick release or anything, they're just all standard, and so it's rare, but it does happen. And I have had it happen, I think in part with the nut grips. You know, like it's holding the fastener, which I believe this is a 3/8 stainless, so it ought to plug in beautifully for me. This is a pretty strong hold. This is a bolt. I mean, this is not a little screw or anything. This is a stainless steel bolt. I think it's 3/8 by 2.5 inch, if I had to guess. And that is in there. This is what the nut grip does, okay? And what I'm going to do, since I picked up two, is grab this guy, and I'm going to pair this. I'm not going to go wobble. I'm going to go all the way, and I'm just daintily gripping the nut grip socket and the driver. And I've pulled it that lightly, and we're in the wobble position, which is great. But doesn't take much. You know, it's a decent amount of force. I'm not going to like tell you it's just effortless and it falls off because of poor machining. It's designed this way, and it's very beautiful in execution, but I have had this stuff rip off, and one of the reasons is when you have something along these lines, when you're taking advantage of your nut grip sockets, this is a little bit more force, especially these do kind of break in a little, but not to the point they don't function, of course, but like, you know, the first couple times, like, wonk, it's quite the grip. So it's just a deal, especially at weird angles with the Wobble Fix. If I have this, I'm not likely to do it, but whenever I come out and take advantage of the Wobble Fix feature of this driver, and I get to like a weird point, or there's like something I'm kind of like wrenching past, maybe like a sheet metal brace comes down from the dash, you can have that happen, right? Where your fastener and your nut grip stay here, partially either out or in, and then this comes out. So I'm telling you that because my other thing that I constantly have handy to pair with the nut grips is the Stavilla spinner. You should be familiar with it because I've featured it so many times, but it's a locking one. And if Koken could do anything at all, that's well, number one, I'm not gonna lie, my number one wish list item would be the super shallow sockets, like the Z series shallows in SAE. I don't know if they'll ever do that because I don't know how many they would sell. I would buy them, I would pre-order them, I would pay for them before they existed, type of a thing. That's how bad I want those. But moving from that point, the next thing I would love to see, and if they have it and I don't know about it, I'm sorry, but tell me in the comments and I'll buy one. I would love to see the Wobble Fix extension that locks. And I know that's kind of weird. I don't know how you could execute it really with the, you know, wobble in place. Seems like that wouldn't be executable. But just like if the lock was even only functional here or something. But I guess then people would complain about it because like, oh, well, I thought this would lock and wobble. If there was a way to make this in wobble lock, or just make it slightly more difficult, you know, for the socket to release, that's kind of like the wish list item there. So could it be done? Possibly. You know, would people buy it? I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't happen very often, but it has happened to me multiple times, so I think you should make note of it. And again, with the nut grips, it's just kind of more likely to happen for the reason I mentioned. It's sort of, I mean, it's a great hold on this thing. So right there, case in point, I'm going to grab the driver and this, and we're going to see what the loose end is. In a perfect world, this bolt comes out, and this stays. I don't have it in wobble. This is fully recessed right there. So let's do the pull test. I rest my case. That was fully seated, not in wobble. Okay, so I'm going to come in. We're going to nest it again. This time I'm going to back it off, and we're in the wobble feature. Guess what happens this time? Yeah, total crapshoot. So let's do one more deal. This is fully seated. The bolt is fully seated as well. Not wobble, just attached. We're going to come in, again, dainty. Pulls it off, which backs that one up. Now I've got to release that. We're in wobble. Dainty grip. I don't know what to tell you. I promise what I'm telling you from under the dash and, under headers is true. But it's a crapshoot type of a deal, right? You never really know. If you want to experience it for yourself, get out there in the shop and do something. And let me know. Do you release the nut grip? Do you only release it in the fixed position, or do you release it in the wobble, or does the wobble serve as a lock type of thing? I think what's happening here in like scientific engineering terms is when this is in wobble and I'm pulling on the fastener, since I'm kind of pulling straight, it's locking the socket more on the back side of the drive end that way. Whereas when this is seated straight and we come in and we're pulling as straight as we can, it's just coming off, right? A lock would take care of that. But when I come in here and we seat it once more and I go to wobble, if I line that up, like right here, if I pull, the bolt is going to release. If we set it back up and wobble, and I could pull straight, which it's really blurry through the camera, you tell me. Makes no sense, bench test, but I do speak from experience, believe it or not. But you can kind of see what I'm saying there. I want to know your experience with this. And would you buy, let's say that they can't do the lock, or it would be like too confusing to the consumer type of a thing. Like, hey, why does it come off and wobble? It only seems to lock when it's straight. Maybe just making a straight, driver with a lock would be a good move. So, like I said, I love this. That's why it sits in the top of the cart. That's why I like the nut grips so well, and I've got them at work too. At work, they're primarily used for junction boxes. So those are a pain in the butt when you have like a giant piece of cast iron that you have to delicately balance while you deal with 4 screws of varying tightness, depending on if it's factory or some field electrician type of a thing. They've been a lifesaver there, I'll tell you that much. So, with that said, this was the haul from DRPD. Black Friday, fantastic prices, but on top of that, a fat discount for the sale. So I'm anxiously awaiting for their next sale. I've got a list of items I plan to bring in. So with that said, again, it's getting pretty late. I should probably wrap this thing up, but that's what we got. Let me know your thoughts on it. If you brought in Koken sockets, how long have you been using them? Seems like every month or so, more and more people kind of jumping on the bandwagon there. So the price point is just German sockets. I can recommend those. I can recommend my old school American industrial brands. These are the far, far more economical option versus either of those. So, if you want to buy American, that's great. Proto and Wright, if you want to experiment across the globe and you're like, duh. I wanted, and this is really where Koken shines, like shallow sockets, like right here. Good brands are usually close. Some are cheaper than others, but like you get to tool trucks and you get to like Gador, Stavilla, Hazettes, you're entering like a price threshold that is pretty standard, right? Koken is right there, usually, a little more economical choice, but then you jump to the deep sockets. Like, I don't think anybody could pass up Stavilla, Gador, even some of like my industrial brands, like Wright and Proto. You can swing that stuff. Now, when you get to the deep sockets, it's almost like the price does more than double sometimes. With Koken, they kind of keep theirs reined in a little better, I feel. So you can kind of, if you're looking to build a quality socket set and you want the same brand, you don't want like this loosely organized assortment of worldly testing or something in your box. If you care about uniformity or something along those lines, for the money, I think you would have a very hard time buying new. That's a caveat there, buying new. Koken might very well be the best bang for the buck. Quality socket, great price, might be something you look into. So with that said, this was the haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on any of this stuff if you have it, particularly Mr. Parallel Tip. I've heard good things, so hopefully it follows through. With that said, if I quit rambling, I think we can wrap this up before the card breaks me off at the 30-minute mark. So, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you enjoyed the video, I encourage you to leave a like. If you like a lot of the stuff, I encourage you to subscribe. If you ring the bell, jump your charger across the creek, YouTube just might notify you while new videos. Hope you have a fantastic week. In the event that cut me off, most importantly, hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend.